So, in the very first video on this channel, I said that it doesn't take motivation to get started, but instead something else. So whenever you're looking for a way to learn motivation, you should instead look for a way to learn discipline, self-discipline. What I didn't talk about was how do you develop self-discipline? Here's a short and practical answer to that question. Actually to another question, but it's about the same goal, namely to find a beginning and to keep at it when it comes to creative work. And then again, it is an answer to the self-discipline question too. It's an answer to many questions, so listen up folks, this will be interesting. The thing is, I kind of gave the answer back then, just in a slightly different context. And it was only a few months after that video that I stumbled across a non-fiction book that opened my eyes in many ways. Also, but not at least, in relation to discipline. It is the book that I recommended here 2 weeks ago. A good place to start is the book How to Take Smart Notes by Sönke Ahrens, a rather enlightening reading experience. The author, Sönke Ahrens, mainly addresses students and focuses on academic writing, but every single lesson from this book is relevant to creatives as well, or to creative writers in the broadest sense. That is, anyone involves creative process, some kind of writing is involved, even if it's just taking notes, and who doesn't do that? Ahrens also points out that what really matters is self-discipline, rather than IQ, for example. That's good news, he says, because IQ can't be improved. But discipline can, as we all know, and that is by willpower, right? The bad news is that willpower is, as many studies have shown, a rather limited resource. Especially when it comes to ambitious, long-term goals, willpower alone just doesn't cut it. It's not enough. Great. So, self-discipline in the end is also like the wrong way to go, or what? I'm confused. No, it's not. Luckily, this is not the whole story. We know today that self-control and self-discipline have much more to do with our environment than with ourselves. And the environment can't be changed. Now that is pretty much exactly the answer I gave back then, just in another context, namely to the question of how to find a path of happiness. First, change your circumstances. And if that's not possible, change your attitude towards those circumstances. Well, the second advice, change your attitude, is the good old Stoic approach, also a kind of self-discipline, very much so, but not in a way that brings us closer to any ambitious goals. So, change your circumstances/environment. That is the solution. That not only leads us to a path of happiness, but also brings us closer to our creative goals. The point is that it doesn't take much self-discipline at all once your environment is adapted to help you with your goals. That's why how do I develop self-discipline is actually the wrong question. It's all about developing habits. Because when something becomes a habit, it's easy. Or the other way around, it's even hard to stop doing this thing once it has become a habit. And if we look into one of the most popular books on the subject of habits, which would be obviously Atomic Habits by James Clear, even here the answer is adapt your environment so that what you want to make a habit is easier for you to do. For example, if you want to record videos or a podcast on a regular basis, you should have your recording setup always up and ready instead of having to reinstall it or rebuild it every single time. And Sönke Ahrens is all about setting up a system to handle your notes so that regular writing becomes easier without having to worry all the time about questions like where to put this now and where was that again? And didn't I forget something really important? I think this shift from questions like how do I find discipline, habits, happiness to the question how do I change my environment to fit and foster my goals, this shift turns something rather abstract into something way more concrete and practical. Now we can open our eyes, look at our environment and tweak it a little bit, step by step. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Here are some more videos that you might like. And if you want to learn how to write edutainment video scripts, then check out my Skillshare class on it. There's a link down below. You can watch it for free within the Skillshare trial. Thanks for watching and see you soon.